it up on TikTok as well. Give me 1 second. Oh man, trying to ask me for my birthday. I just said the year. I don't know, man. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, trying to get this TikTok thing to work. It's my first time doing it. Okay. So while I'm doing this today, give me 1 second. Let me do this real quick. Now, I didn't have class today, so I got a little time to talk today. And oh, come on, man. Here we go. Can we get? Oh, we live. Good deal. We live on TikTok, Facebook, all that. So we live today. Like I said, I didn't have class today, so I don't know what's up with this mic today. Lord help me. Okay, didn't have class today. Find out right when I got there, no class today. I said, cool, I'm coming home and recording. And today's topic, I want to talk about information deficit. Do we face or do we deal with information deficit? What do I mean by that? So, what I mean by that is, if this thing will stay right, huh? What is up with this thing today? Okay, there you go. All right. What is an information? In my opinion, information deficit is things or information that can help you or that you can know how to do things. Oh wow, I didn't spell it right. Let me redo that. Information like, let's say if you want to know about a certain career field, do you have the information about that career field? Because there's so many career fields that we don't know about. I know I didn't know about. And you find out later because you get exposed to it either through by working or somebody you know or somebody tell you about it. And you be like, man, if I'd have known about this earlier, maybe I could have explored this option. Let me know in the comments, do you think as a community we lack information deficit? Just a knowledge base of information that can help you succeed, that you know what the next steps are because you have the exposure, you have the access to that information. In my opinion, I think we lack a lot of information as far as uh, the depth of how deep the corporate world is, different phases of politics that don't get talked about enough, in my opinion. I'm learning about it now in economics class. And if you look up stuff like I do, go look up the FOMC, the monetary, the Feds, right? The Fed, Jerome Powell. Look his position up. You know, look at what did he do before he got into the Fed and controlling the interest rates. See, a lot of times we always talk about the president and senators and representatives, but we never talk about the national bank, regional banks, the monetary policy. We don't you don't hear people talking about that as much. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying a lot of things as a community we just literally just don't know. From a standpoint of nobody never bring the information back. A lot of people make it out, but they don't come back and give the information to the younger people so you can create a better group coming after you because you gave them information to go off of that they know about it. Now they can take that and make better moves going forward because they have the information. Does that make sense? Even when I talk about IT, even just corporate world, period, um, trying to get kids to realize there are things that you do when you in the community, but when you go into the corporate world and leave your community, that's a whole nother world you're going into now. The things that you wear in the community, you may not can't wear that in the corporate world. And a lot of people struggle with that. Oh man, I don't want to change. That's fake. Guess what? As an adult, especially adult male, adult man, your job is to get to a place where you can generate money. And the more you can generate, the better. But a lot of times we lack the information to get to the generation of money that it comes in bunches. We usually do it in job form, finding a career. And the people who break through and they find out how to make the money in bunches, they find out how to be the entrepreneur. They don't, not all of them, but a high percentage of them, they do not come back and share the insight with the youth. They want to receive it. How about that? They have a mindset of, I had to figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out and learn just like I did. To me, I think that's whack. I think that you ain't going to be able to reach everybody, but there are, in my opinion, there is a set of kids that you can reach with the information that you have. To me, that's worth more than money. A person that's been in the corporate world, that's a high value person, or a person that's, that made it over the, 60, 70, $80,000 hump. How did you get there? What is the journey that you took to get there? Some of our kids lack that information. I did. I had to figure it out for myself, but I don't mind giving it back. And what I would tell you is don't fall for the you don't need education. This is my second point. Dealing with misinformation. Dealing with misinformation. A lot of times you don't even know that you're getting misinformation because you don't have information available to even disprove it. Like we have older men telling kids that you don't have to go to college or you don't have to go to anything. You can just make it with a high school diploma. To me, that's misinformation. Can you do it? Sure, you can. But what's going to happen is you're going to hit that ceiling really fast. 35,000, something like that on high school diploma, or you're going to be working at Amazon. And people that saying, and this is just my opinion, people that saying they're making a lot of money with just a high school diploma, I bet you they probably work a lot of hours. How do I know this? I've been there. You may have a base salary of 35,000, but you may work so much overtime that you may bring home more than you may make double because you're working overtime. But how long can you work overtime and work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours until your body break down? If you're not a generally healthy person, you have to ask yourself that. How long can I do that for? I seen it. I seen older people, they work so much overtime, they rely on that as their salary. But then when the hours starting to get reduced and cut, you go back to your base salary, it feels like you just fell off a brick wall because you're used to the overtime salary. So, misinformation. We have to be careful about what you take in, what you believe. Everything that you take in may not be something that's valuable to you. You have to have a filter. If you don't read, you don't continue your education, sometimes you won't even know it's misinformation. So you got to be careful about how you take in and what you're taking in and how to vet it to make sure that you know it's not misinformation. You may not start with the best resources, however, you still can win. You still can. Like you may not win like Will Smith, but on a regular person level, you still can win. I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't have the resources, A lot of those guys that you see, and if you just look at their bio or look at their upbringing, let's take Jerome Powell for example, the guy who controls the interest rate, right? The last time I looked at his bio, it said that his dad was a lawyer, so that in itself is different. I'm not saying that it's a disparity. I'm saying one of his parents chose to go to school, undergrad, go to get his JD, Juris Doctorate, and become an attorney, a lawyer. And just by having that exposure and having that for your son to have like that exposure that you deal with your dad on a daily basis and he's an attorney, imagine what conversations that they have that you don't get every day. Imagine in our community what kind of conversation our kids have with their parents if they're even able to have a conversation with their parents, because they say majority of households in are single parent households, and if it's a single parent household, their parent more than likely working one job, long hours, or multiple jobs to make ends meet and put food on the table, especially now in 2025. But Jerome Powell grew up in a household where his dad was an attorney. He went to school at an Ivy League school. That's not typical. But somebody like me, right? Graduate high school, and you're trying to figure out what do I do next, and the information that you're operating on is limited. It's limited. You talk about going to college, but I'm one of them people, you don't understand the infrastructure or the plan or strategy of going to college. And when you're a first generation, who do you ask if you're a first generation college student about going to college? I mean, you should think about that. If you're first generation, that means you're the first person to go to college. And I didn't even go to college right out of high school. I didn't. I'm doing it right now in my 40s. But what I noticed in that time, when I go back and when I reflect in my mind, is that there wasn't a lot of information, whether we wasn't going to look for it because we weren't looking for it, or there were not enough people that you could glean from, or like we didn't have politicians come back to McClellan. We didn't have CPAs, accountants, and CTOs and all that. We didn't have those kind of people come back to McClellan and have something to aspire or a pattern to pattern off of. And when you don't have that, a lot of kids like I was, you're starting from scratch. So you don't have the best resources. But what I'm saying in 2025, if a kid graduates now, even if you 3 or 4 years removed from high school, you can still make a strategy to win on a regular person level. So, how can you do that? If you have a phone, if you have a laptop, if you have a computer, if you don't have neither one of those, you can go to a library and sign up on a list and use their internet computer You can go to colleges, ask questions, talk to advisors. You can go to an apprenticeship, do the same thing. There are many ways that wasn't available back then that's available now. You just have to go out, look for it, find what you're looking for, go out and look for it, and get the information that you need. Like I said, you may not be on a Will Smith level. A lot of people don't. That's like 1%. But on a regular person level, I think you may start out in the 30s, but you don't have to stay in the 30s. You can get in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, in the 80s. You can. I'm telling you, you can. It's out there. However, they're not just going to give it to you. They're not going to give it to you. So my next one is the sacrifice it takes to win with limited resources. When you don't have the resources, you don't have the information to take the shortcuts, you know exactly what to do. The sacrifice that you're going to have to make is you're going to have to find the information. You're going to have to maybe build a connection with somebody. It's a sacrifice. It's going to take a sacrifice. If you're starting from scratch, you don't have the resources, it's going to be a sacrifice. And if you want to make it to the next level, you'll make it. If you don't, you won't. It's that simple. And by the way, be sure to follow CTMTV on YouTube, YouTube at CTMTV or CTMTV LR. Check us out on TikTok. Follow the channel. I think I'm on the CTM. No, I'm on the Mike Flair. I'm on a different channel. Okay. But Mike Flair, CTM TV, make sure to follow us. Make sure to help us grow. The more you follow and grow, help us get monetized, I can invest into the channel because I'm a tech guy. So I know what to get. No, I'm not the high production people that be on YouTube. I'm just a regular guy from Little Rock, Arkansas, Southwest Little Rock. But if you subscribe, help me grow, the more things I can get access to and I can invest in the channel. So let's get back to it. It takes a sacrifice to win with limited resources. It takes a sacrifice because you don't have the money. You have to find out how to get there. Just like if you don't have the resource, you don't have rich family to go to college. The sacrifice you make is you have to get student loans to pay for your education. And you have people that say, well, I don't want to be in debt. I'm going to tell you, anything meaningful in your life that's of value, 90% of the time, you're probably going to go in debt to get it because you don't have the cash laying around. If you want a house, that's a 30-year debt, a 30-year mortgage, or 15-year, whichever one you can afford. That's a debt. People out here buying cars, that's a debt. It's people that got more debt than people with student loans and they never went to an educational institution. They just spent money on stuff. Sometimes we can find an excuse not to do it. But the question I have for you is when do you find the excuse to do it? When do you find the excuse to do it? My next one is focus on skills, not race. Focus on your skills, not race. A lot of times we get stuck in the race aspect. I'm not gonna tell you that it's not racial. It is, but don't get stuck on that. Now that you know that it's racial, what are some of the things you can do that you can gain to overcome, to counter some of that? And I'm telling you that the more that you have skills that's valuable, you will make a person that's racist pay you for your skill because it's sought after. They can't find it. They have to come to you because it's nobody else that can do it. But you have to make the sacrifice to focus on gaining skills that's in value, that's sought after. Sometimes people focus on the race and they stop focusing on the skill. Focusing on things that you can't control will not help you. I can't control what another person thinks about the color of my skin. I can't control what kind of bias another person has towards me. Only thing I can control is how I react, what I do, what I think, and what I say, and redeem myself if I make a mistake, because I made plenty of them. But I'm telling you, as a person 42, don't focus on race because you can't control another person, but you can control you. And I'm saying from experience, skills will take you places, even if it's racially involved. Skills can navigate you through that because some skills people can't find, they will have to swallow whatever they have in order to get that skill, in order to maintain what they have. I've seen it happen in real life. I'm a living witness of it. If you don't know, look it up. Do not just fully depend on another person's answer. Look it up. We can go look up all this drama stuff on social media. We can look up all the crazy stuff, but when it comes to looking up things on self-development, that's not the thing. Nobody don't want to do that. You have to read and do some research as an adult. And if you're not in school, you got to do it on your own sometimes. Is it easy? Some people it is, some people it's not, depending on where you fall on the spectrum. But what I'm telling you is the more knowledge and skills that you gain, the more valuable you become. The more value and skills you become, the more you specialize in stuff. The more you specialize in stuff, the more the job requirements start to build around what you specialize in. When I was younger, I worked at a retail store. And I always tell kids this at a retail store, you don't specialize in nothing off the bat. You come in entry level. That means they just kind of throw you in the fray, see what you're good at. Are you good at being a cashier? Are you good at being an associate? Keep the aisles straight and the clothes folded. They throw you in the stocking room if they low on men. They throw you back in the stocking room. But when you specialize in something, you just do that one or two thing that you specialize in. Like me right now, working in IT. I specialize in web development and now doing some kind of specialized integrations called Snap Logic, right? We build reports in Workday and build integrations, pipelines, what we call it, pipelines and Snap Logic. That's what consists of my job, is that. But guess what? In order to get there, I had to specialize in information technology and get the foundation first and then build up to that point. But I had to look some stuff up and I couldn't just fully depend on people to just say, do this. I have to look it up. My next one, don't compare yourself with other people. That's dangerous. You don't know what they had before you. You don't know who they have as a connection. You don't know who they know. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Be the best version of you tomorrow than you were today. We're not basketball trading cards. You're looking at each other like stats because you're going to find out somebody's better than you. You got to be humble enough to accept that. There is somebody out there that's better than you for whatever reason. You can do all the work. You can be great, but from a humble standpoint, there can be somebody out there that's greater than you. Now, is it good to have confidence to say I'm the greatest? Sure, no problem. But the other side of you has to be humble enough to know that you may run into somebody that's better than you, not because they're just purely better than you, it's because maybe they have more time because you have a family plus what you're learning, and they don't have a family. They just single, so they have more time or they more inclined in it. So be careful. Don't compare yourself to other people. Follow your own path that's positive and legit. You have to maintain your confidence, not other people maintain your confidence. What do I mean by that? When you become an adult, when you graduate high school, you are responsible for you. You are responsible for what you take on. You are responsible for your choices and decisions. You are responsible to maintain your confidence. Everybody in the world is not here to boost your confidence. Everybody not gonna be nice to you. Everybody not gonna have good things to say about you. But you have to maintain your confidence. Not other people maintain your confidence. You have to. And in order to maintain your confidence, you gotta believe in you. Even when you mess up, you have to redeem yourself. Even when things don't go your way, you gotta have enough confidence to say, I will take care of it next time. Sometimes you gotta have enough confidence to be silent and not say anything, not argue with people. Just let people just talk. When you have enough confidence, you can say, I don't have to argue. I don't have to prove myself. There's no point. But you gotta maintain your confidence in life. You have to. Even when you want to take on being a husband, take on a marriage, not only do you have to maintain your relationship, but you have to grow, continually grow, and maintain your relationship. Then when you have kids, if you're a man, you have to maintain your confidence. You have to maintain and be a leader over your wife and your kids. You got to do all of these things. Multitasking. That's life. Especially as a man, you have to multitask. You have to be a provider. You got to be a spiritual leader, and you have to be the the pillar of the house as a man, in my opinion. And the only way to do that, you have to maintain your confidence. Will things come to try to shatter your confidence? Yes, they will. But you have to maintain your confidence. Even in chaos, you have to maintain your confidence not to get sucked into the chaos. Because it will happen. It will happen, I promise you. So my last one is understand the so what mentality of this world dealing with people. Everybody not gonna be nice. Everybody's not gonna be as concerned, and that's okay. You know why? Because everybody has things going on just as well as you do. It would be arrogant of me to think that everybody is concerned about what I got going on. That would be outright crazy because they not. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. But I want to let anybody that's out here listening know, don't feel so entitled that you feel like everybody cares about what you're dealing with because that's not true. Everybody's dealing with something, and you'll meet people that you'll start talking about stuff you're going through, and they'll say, "So what? I'm going through stuff too." So you have to understand as an adult that you have to maintain yourself certain points in life because everybody's going through something. If you get married, just like you going through stuff, your spouse has to go through stuff too. Your spouse has to maintain their confidence. They have to grow too. And you're growing together, but as a man, I have to develop, and as a woman, your spouse has to develop as well. I can't tell her how to grow as a woman because I'm not a woman. Just like she can't tell me how to grow as a man because I'm not a man. But we have to still develop our individual selves and in our marriage. And the more we develop individually, the more the marriage grows and bonds together as well. Some roles in life is not about, I talked about this earlier live I did. It's not about how I feel. It's about I still. I may not feel like it, but I still got to take care of it. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. I still got to take care of it. If somebody help me, thank you. If not, I still have to handle that. No matter what, I still have to maintain my role as being a provider. No matter how I feel, I still have to maintain my health so I can be a provider of my family. That's the mentality as a man, in my opinion, that you got to have. Not how I feel, but I still have to handle business. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank everybody who joined on TikTok. Thank everybody who joined on YouTube, Facebook. Let me know what you think. Do we suffer from an information deficit as a community? Should we share more information with our youth about things that we go through as an adult and how to maintain? I think we should. Let me know what you think. I think we should. I think that whoever wants to hear it and take it and run with it, I think that we should share it and give it to them. And that's my goal. That's my purpose. If I can change the curve of our youth and younger generations to get on a journey of success earlier, instead of getting to your max potential at 40 and 50 because you play around in your 20s and 30s, that would be awesome to change that arc, to change that narrative. But we have to close that information deficit and have it available for our youth. So when they get to the point of high school, they already have a strategy in place and they know what they want to do. This is Mike Motivation, Mike Flair, Bingo on TikTok. Be sure to check out the channels on YouTube, Mike Flair, CTMTV. Subscribe, like, share, and I will catch you on the next one. They told me bust out my AP, perfect time, man.